Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Charlie, Becca today, our non-binary guest, and we're going to talk about what it's like being transgender. So to back it up, like what is transgender? What's the meaning of it? What is transgender?
That's honestly even kind of a hard question for me to answer because, like, my situation is actually kind of funny because, like, I feel like I know this, I know I am that, but it's like I don't really, like, dive too much in the topic of it. Like, a lot of trans girls and trans guys can explain it better to me, even though I'm trans, and, like, or even some cis people can explain it better to me. But from the overarching situation, it's just you have a mismatch of bodily, like, identity. Like, you, like, just don't enjoy the manifestation of, like, what your, like, existence is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone has it. Like, I've been given the comparison before of, like, bodily dysmorphia is, like, a common thing, actually. Like, it's if we just, like, reframe the discussion, like, say, oh, I don't like that I don't like that I'm fat, so you have this, like dislocation where you're, like, you want a way you want your body to be versus what it is,
mm-hmm.
and that causes you emotional stress.
So to the average, or the person walking like by you, do you get offended if someone calls you a girl?
No, I mean, I don't get offended if they call me a man either. Like, often, like, I mean, I've worn this outfit before, and I've been referred to as he, and it's like, do I have to make it obvious? Like that, I don't know. And it's just I don't feel offended or, like, anger, because it's just the way people are.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's been, like, it's just a constant process of, like, coming out is what it's usually discussed about, is, like, you're never just out. Like, you're never, like, this, unless, like, society vastly changes and, like, the way we view gender and sex, like, starts deconstructing itself. That's just not going to happen. And I can cope with that.
Right. So backing up, like, when did you first realize, like, I don't feel like a man when I was born? When did you realize?
My path of, like, figuring out that I was, like, uncomfortable with my body and, like, really opening up about, like, my sexuality and all of that was actually kind of dumb. And you may, like, smile at that and, like, say, how can it be dumb? Well, because a lot of transit people make the point of no experience is dumb, but personally I feel like my story's a little dumb because I literally started down this path as, like, just being into a certain type of pornography.
Right.
Like, because I was when I was growing up, I was a conservative Catholic.
Okay.
And I was a conservative Catholic, you know, good Catholic boy. And it just took, like, some pornography to, like, kind of, like, bridge a gap in my head that I kind of blocked off purposefully because of, you know, the social institutions of,
right.
like, being against gay people, and also trans people wasn't even in my dialogue when I was a little kid. Like, that wasn't even a thing. So it was just some coincidental pornography that bridged that gap, and, like, I suddenly realized, wait, maybe I'm into men, and suddenly I think, okay, maybe I'm bisexual, but at the same time that causes, like, an identity crisis, because up until that point, I was, you know, I'm a conservative Catholic, I'm like, oh God, no, I'm not a good Catholic boy, and, like, a big sticking point for me, though, about that, which caused a kind of a mental break, at least that night when I was 15 years old, was it just, like, I was always told, you know, it's a choice to be gay, it's a choice to be bisexual or something like that, and it's just like, I didn't choose this feeling is just happening.
Right.
So not only is it my brain thinking, okay, well, that was a lie, it's a big part of me is thinking, how much else was a lie? So this kind of caused, like, a giant, like, butterfly effect throughout my like, teenage years and high school years. Me versus 4 years ago me, like, I would hate 4 years ago me. He was, like, a terrible human being, and specifically he. And it's just, I don't know, I'm kind of proud of the progress that I made. And it's just, it was a process through high school of realizing that not only am I, like, bisexual, but I'm also kind of uncomfortable with parts of my body. Like, I'm uncomfortable with my non-round ass, or I'm uncomfortable with my flat chest, and I would actually kind of enjoy those things. And I was like, wait, what does this mean?
Just going back to, like, you said you don't want to be, you're not a female, you're non-binary. So describe how you want people to perceive you, and, like, what does that mean to you? Like, how do you feel inside each day?
How I feel I feel, it's, again, dumb, kind of, but I feel me. Like, I don't identify as a man or a woman, I am non-binary.
Okay.
Even, like, it's been shortened to, like, NB, and I just find that word cute, and I'm like, I love it.
I'm NB.
I'm NB. I'm an NB. I don't know. I feels very comfortable for me, and I have no, like, I guess, loyalty to man or woman. I very much don't feel like a man. I don't feel like a woman. I feel parts of these traits, and I bound them together into my own non-binary self.
Right.
People just form their own identities.
Right, and I think people should just be themselves, and
it's like there's no one way to be a woman. It's
Right.
just the same thing. There's no one way to be non-binary. It's just I identify not with all of the woman traits or all of the men traits. I identify with my own traits.
Yeah. Are your parents very supportive of everything?
Dad is. Mom doesn't know.
Mom doesn't know at all.
She just doesn't know, like, I'm doing anything.
How often do you see your parents?
I see my mom every, like, now and again. Like, I go vacation down there sometimes. She lives in Florida, and it's just like she doesn't notice. Like,
So she just thinks you have really long hair?
yeah. Well, yeah. I just have really long hair. Also, this is like I hide this with, like, baggy clothes, and it's in Florida, so I'm suffering. But hey, and yeah, she just doesn't, like, I don't know. Just
Are you scared to tell your mom? Do you think she won't accept you?
she grew up in a rural family, and I love her. I love her as a person, but I'm afraid of her not accepting me very much. Because, like, she kind of has this perception of me as, like, I'm her firstborn son who's gonna have kids and extend her, like, section of the Becca line or something like that. And it's like, and the funny thing is, I actually do want, like, wife and kids eventually. And like my dreams for a family have really not changed very much, but it's still getting used to this is not gonna. I feel like it's gonna be rough for my mom.
It's a journey, it's a process, and I'm sure at times it's been very hard, like, in your own head, like, thinking what society's going to think of me, and, how do you go about not caring what people think of you and just being who you are?
My problem with that situation is it's just like, I mean, how does anyone go about their day just being who they are, and like, when society's perceptions of you should be this or should be that or should be that, when we're actually kind of living in a time of flux more or less than ever before, because gender roles have been so defied at this point, where so many, like, women have careers, and there's so much, like, well, obviously there are problems, but it's just like when the gender roles are already kind of in flux, me just, like, appearing onto this, like, stage is just like, there's already so much going on, I might as well like, get the hell out of here. And that's about how I feel about this. It's just like, in any situation, I really wouldn't care even anyway. Maybe if it was in a worse situation, like, obviously if it's 1930s Germany, I'm not walking around like this, but
Right.
I would obviously hide. But right now, I can just go about my day normally, and I don't really have much fear.
So walking around school and everything like that, like, do you ever wonder if people stare at you like, oh my gosh, what do they think about me? Are they judging me or anything like that?
Oh, I have actually a funny story for that. I went out shopping with a cis girlfriend of mine. Well, not a girlfriend, but a friend.
Right.
And she and we, like, went shopping for all of, like, the tough stuff. That was our day goal for the day. Buying panties and, like, bras and, like, other clothes, and complimenting each other. It was really it was a great day. And I actually, like, didn't notice at all, but she's like, yeah, no, people have been, like, giving you weird looks throughout all the day. And I was like, oh, that's rough.
So you've just grown to, like, I don't care, like, I'm just myself, and it is what it is, and I'm here.
And yeah, she's like, hon, I've been giving so many people stink eye all day. Like, and I was like,
Stick it up for you.
She's such a nice person.
No, that's really cool. So you just, like, that, you have a great mindset then. You just live a life, and, I'm here, and everyone, if they don't like me, then who cares?
I mean, if you're enough about, like, that kind of a person who would judge on appearance, even if I wasn't like this, then I don't really care anyway.
a lot of trans people do suffer from depression.
Yes.
But you never really had any struggles with it?
A lot of trans people suffer depression because it's like, your existence is up for debate. Even though like among actually academic circles, it's pretty much like actually universally understood that, gender and sex are different things, and trans people exist, and this isn't actually very debatable at all. I struggle from certain amounts of alienation, and say my experience at high school when I was going through these processes, and I wasn't even really out to myself as trans yet, but I was obviously more feminine than the rest of I went to an all-boys high school. I was obviously more feminine, and a lot of the gay kids were treated very nicely, but some certain students actually would bully me or harass me while I was walking through the hallways, or either say asshole-ish stuff, or one of them did straight up Nazi salutes at me, and let's just say,
wow,
yeah, it's kind of not fun. I didn't even really think of myself as trans then, which is, oh god.
I mean, imagine that. Like, it's hard because you don't even know what your identity is, so
and someone's already judging
else,
me.
Yeah.
Someone's already judging me.
So that makes it even more difficult to come out.
Yeah.
But just for viewers out there in general who are, wanting to just be themselves and don't fit a societal norm, what would you tell them?
I mean, I would just do what I do, but I can't really give that advice of just, it's like saying, oh, just don't be depressed. It's not really good advice. But at the same time, it's like, it's a personal journey. It's a personal achievement that you need to go through. It's going to be hard. Yeah. It is. It's really hard to even come to terms with your identity as a cis person. Like, everyone has those blunder years.
And cis means you identify, I'm a cisgender female, I identify as a woman, and I was born a woman.
Yeah, even I would say cis people have, those blunder years where they go through social isolation in high school and stuff like that, and they go through certain problems that are unique to them, and you just have to gut it out. I honestly hated my life in high school, and I'm just so much happier now. Just in general, it just gets better. You just have to fight through it, and you have to find yourself in the pain.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for being here with me. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share this video because it might help someone in need. Have a good day.